Greetings, chess fans. Today I'll be showing you a game I played against the former world chess champion Garry Kasparov, who was one of my chess idols growing up. And this game is my favorite game because it really showcased to me what chess is at its essence. Chess, simply put, is a battle. As you can see clearly in this picture, me and Gary are both in very deep thought, and the only thing that's on our mind right now is chess. So without further ado, let's dive in. So Gary is white and he opens up with e4, and I played c5. We have the Sicilian defense. We have knight f3, knight c6, and bishop b5, the Rossolimo variation. We have g6 and bishop takes c6. And here I decided to take with the d pawn. We have d takes c6 because this opens up my queen, my bishop, and it also puts some control on the square. We have d3, opening the dark square bishop and solidifying the center. And we have bishop to d7, protecting the fourth square. And we have h3. The point of h3 is to stop my bishop from going to g4, where we would end the knight and be rather annoying. So after h3, we have knight f6 and knight c3. And here I played knight d7, which might seem a little bit paradoxical. Like, why would you retreat the knight that you have just developed? But the move is very logical. The point is to play e5. The pawn on e5 would stop the central breaks of d4 and f4, but it's also a hidden maneuver. The point is to put the knight on f8, e6, and then to maybe put it to d4 or f4, where it would be a great piece. So that's the point of knight d7. We have bishop e3, developing the bishop and targeting the c5 pawn, and we have e5 according to plan. And we have queen d2. White is trying to exchange the dark square bishops. I didn't want to allow this, so I played h6, and we have castle. I want to move my knight to f8 as I said, so I played e6, protecting c5. I have knight h2, and to a beginner this might seem crazy, like, why are you moving the knight away from the center? Well, the intent is very clear. Uh, White wants to play f4 and break open the position while the black king is still in the center. So we have knight f8 and f4. Gary breaks open the center, and I took. That was the point of e5. Have takes, and knight e6, attacking the bishop. White here can't really afford to give this bishop up, so we have bishop e. And here I played a very questionable move. I played bishop a6, which wasn't in the spirit of the position. My idea with this move was to play c4 and undermine White's center, but the problem with the idea is that it's just too slow. And Gary immediately punishes this. He plays knight g4. Knight g4 immediately poses the question to my pawn, and I had no choice but to play h5. So we have h5 and we have queen f2, ignoring the threat but generating a bigger one. We have a mate threat on f7. So this knight cannot be touched. So I played queen f7, defending the f7 pawn, and now we have knight f6. This knight has to be taken because otherwise I would lose my castle rights and my position would just be in ruins. So I had to take. So we have bishop f6, queen f6, queen f6, rook f6. So a massive rotation, and I castled, putting my king uh, here because I wanted to put my rook into the game where it would defend the f7 pawn, but also my king will go to g7 attacking. So that was the point of castling. And we have rook af1. Gary shouldn't have played this. He should have played a4 with the intent of going a5 and undermining my queenside structure, and also opening up the a file. So he should have played a4, but instead he went for the obvious rook af1, which is a bit too slow. So we have king g7 because bishop h6 was a threat. Here, if I allow this bishop to go here, it will force my rook away and my f7 pawn will be hanging. We have king g7 stopping that, and we have e5 with the idea of putting the knight on e4 and e6, where it would be an octopus attacking the f7 pawn and simply paralyzing my position. And I developed my rook. I played rook d8 with the idea if he moves his knight, I'll play rook d5 and target his weak e5 pawn. That was the idea of rook a d8. We have knight e4, and and rook d5. And here, Gary should have just continued with his plan. He should have played knight d6, attacking the f5 pawn. My idea was to take, and I knew this was worse for black, but I had to go into this. He would take, take, take. My king would have to go to g8, and after something like rook k7, I would have to make a desperado sacrifice because white's bishop is also hanging. But after playing something like bishop h6, this game would this position would simply collapse uh, for 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 black because all the pieces are discombobulated and black's king is in a lot of danger. So he should have done that. He would be winning that position, but he didn't. He made a very strange decision. He played rook e6, and I was really perplexed by this because it's not something like that Gary would do. This is something that a beginner would do. You see a tactic and you play it. So I took because there's no other option, and he played bishop h6. So the point is to deflect the king from defending. But after the smoke is cleared, I ended up with equal material and a rather safe position. And I also took the pawn on e5. But this move was a mistake, and luckily Gary didn't spot to win. He should have played rook h8, and after king g7, rook a8. And in this position, my bishop would be lost because he's threatening rook a7, and my my bishop is lost, and my rook is on an island and can't help. And if I played something like bishop b5, he would play a4. I can't take because if I take, he plays rook a7, winning the bishop. And if I go back, I also lose the bishop. So he should have done this. He would be winning, but luckily he didn't see it, and he played h4 with the obvious intent of going knight g5 and creating a nating net. I saw this and I realized I had time to activate my bishop, so I played c4, striking at his d pawn, and we have knight g5. Right is rook f7, so I played king g7, not allowing this, and played rook a8, attacking the weak a7. I realized my only move here is to take on d3, and he played rook a7. And in this position, after king g8, Grandmaster Jan Nepomniachtchi was speaking Russian to Gary, and they were discussing this position. And also, Grandmaster Vasily So joined in on the fun, as you can see in this picture. So it was a very exciting moment for me because I never played chess this good in my life as well. So yeah, after king g8, Gary can't take the bishop because after rook e1 and d takes c2, this pawn will queen. It's unstoppable. So this was not an option. So after king g8, he took on d3, and I played bishop d3. And in this position, my heart was pumping, adrenaline was rushing through my veins because I had a great position against the world champion. And objectively, I knew this was a draw, but I knew I would eventually screw this up somehow. So we have rook c7 targeting the c6 pawn. I played rook e1, he played king h2, and I played bishop c4, counterattacking a2 pawn. We have rook c6 and bishop a2. We have knight f3 attacking the rook and rook e2. The rook is best placed on the second. We have rook b6, bishop d5, centralizing the bishop and threatening to take on f3. We have king g3, and here I played the worst move in the position. The only move that makes this position not a draw. I played the move e5. My idea was to play e4 and e3, but I completely overlooked the fact that he can take on g6. And I was really in shock. After rook g6, I had to continue playing. I played king h7, rook g5, attacking my weak pawns, king h6 defending, b4, pushing his passed pawn. I played rook b2, trying to stop it, and he played rook e5. And at this point, I was getting really low on time, so I decided let's liquidate as much as possible. So bishop takes f3, gf3, and after rook b4, he played rook e4. Of course, I can't take this because it's winning for white, so I played rook b1. He played king f4, and in this position, I resigned because I was running out of time, and I thought he's going to win this game eventually. But yeah, this game was a great experience, and I was very proud of myself.